Welcome to Northwest Bruin Football Show. I'm the head coach, Josh Robinson. This past Friday, we were able to make it to Game 10 for the first time in about 19 years and have a chance to win a region championship. Unfortunately, we came up short against Heritage by a score of 30-22. If I were a casual fan just going to a football game, I would probably say that was a good football game. As it stands, where I'm at and who I will forever support in Northwest High School, it was a disappointing football game. But at the same time, I can't lose sight of the fact of how our boys fought and fought in the game, overcame some mistakes at times to really keep the game close, and really fought throughout the season. You know, we suffered an early season loss that was definitely not in the fashion that we wanted it to be and how we wanted it to be, and our guys found a way to fight back, and really it continued throughout the year. You know, we lost that game, and then we kind of roll along. And at Ridgeland High School, we had a very difficult time in the first half. We had played well in majority of moments, but we'd make just enough mistakes for them to have a 9-point lead on us. And our guys could have hung it up, and they didn't. Go forward to Pickens County, same thing. Everything we could do to possibly play bad, we played bad. Now, not taking anything away from the other teams, because Pickens, definitely deserved. They played with less mistakes and deserved to win the game based off of how we played. But those were just multiple opportunities for our team to kind of say, we're going to go through the motions. We're just going to get through the end of the seasons. Yeah, we've probably clinched the playoff spot. We're just happy with that. But our guys didn't think that way. They really came out to practice and have done that all year, and I'm very thankful to have the group that we've had. Then we get to the Heritage game. We get out to an early lead, and we just make too many mistakes on both sides of the ball. I've been really pleased with our defense, but I just thought there were times in our coverages and our run fits, pushing people after the play. Those are the kind of things that we just have not done this year that we did on Friday that were uncharacteristic of our football team. And unfortunately, we came out on the losing end. But the good news is we have made the playoffs for the 5th straight year and 6th out of the last 7 years, and that's really something for these young men to be proud of. They are the second group that can say the varsity football team made the playoffs every year I was in high school, and that's a very big accomplishment. Winning is not easy, not at all. I think sometimes we paint that picture in our mind, we should beat so-and-so, that'll be an easy game. I can tell you from being on the inside and coaching that winning's never easy, and our guys have played really well in order to earn the victories that they have received. Let's talk a little bit about the offensive stats. Owen Brooker on the night was 16 for 36 for 195 yards and 2 touchdowns. Owen, as a freshman, playing in a region championship game. What better way for him to kind of end his freshman campaign in the regular season than to win that game? Well, you know what? We didn't. I bet you anything he's going to be hungry this week at practice and be a better player, and I bet throughout his career he's going to be hungry. So, we're proud of the way he played. He could always be better, but look, I'm not going to lie to you. Coach Fisher and myself are the main play callers on Friday night, and we definitely could be better, and that's what we strive for, and we look forward to seeing his growth going forward. Running the ball, Gavin Ellis had a really good night for us. He was 23 carries for 121 yards and a long of 41. Gavin did some good things, probably exercised better vision than he has the entire year about running away from defenders into open areas as far as the run fits and reading his blockers. Something Gavin didn't play a lot of varsity, really basically didn't play any varsity until this year. So to see him accomplish these things are really, really nice. Bryce Mantooth had 3 carries for 14 yards and our touchdown. Bryce continues to be that steady back where he's blocking. We use him in 2-back situations. Gavin's getting the majority of the carries, but Mantooth's probably equivalent to him in overall plays. Owen Brooker on the night had 5 carries for 11 yards. Matthew Redmond, 2 carries for 3 yards, and then Adrian Reyes had 2 carries for -4 yards. So all of those guys, the good thing about all those is they're underclassmen, they're going to be back, but we also get another week. It's a new season when the playoffs start. the fact we've won 7 games and maybe somebody else has won 3 or 9 or 10, whatever the case may be, doesn't really matter anymore. It's about going and playing. The stakes are high. You win, you go on. You lose, you go home. So we definitely want our guys to go out and improve, and that's something that our wide receivers did. Had a much better week blocking, and really against some really physical perimeter defenders in Heritage. Callan Neely on the night had 4 catches for 80 yards and a touchdown. He's had a couple of good games this year, but I believe this is easily be called his most productive of the years, and he did a much better job of blocking this week. Matthew Redmond was his steady self, 4 catches, 61 yards. He's just the epitome of consistency on offense and defense. We're really pleased with Matthew and are glad he's a very integral part to our football team. Preston Neely had 4 catches for 22 yards. Preston has steadily improved throughout the season, and at this point has really became a viable option for us in the passing game. Cooper Pardee had 1 catch for 19 yards and a touchdown, and really, we really want to get him the ball more. Unfortunately, when we tried to throw him the ball on more occasions, they did a good job of double covering and getting a linebacker underneath and preventing us from really getting him the ball as much as we want. Gavin Ellis and Bryce Mantooth combined for 2 catches for 8 yards out of the backfield as well. So we put up some good numbers on offense. We ended up on the night, I believe, over 325 yards of offense. We just had enough mistakes, missed blocks, drop passes, miss assignments, miss a line that we really haven't done the last few weeks in order to lose the football game. And that's unfortunate, but that's the reality. That's what I told the team going into the game. The team that makes the least amount of mistakes are the ones that are going to come out with a winner. But our guys played hard, and I'm ultra proud of them no matter what. And I'm really pleased with our offensive output. At this time, let's take a look at the first half highlights. Heritage won the toss and elected to defer to the second half. And here you see a great pass, great route from Owen Brooker to Matthew Redmond with a big 3rd down pickup to keep the drive alive at the beginning. Here's another pass to Matthew Redmond. He's tucking away a little bit faster, but an outstanding job of gaining yards, getting down inside the 30. Here we are throwing the ball again. Here's Cooper Pardee on the touchdown catch to put us up 6-0. Unfortunately, we got the extra point blocked. Here they're trying to run outside zone. Good job by Colby Ramsey, Dakota Hickman, maybe Zach Coslow, Bailey McQuaig in on it. Here Matthew Redmond defends against their transfer from Chattanooga that had a lot of success against us. Here we have a group of Bruins in on the tackle, probably giving up too many yards, but they tried to draw us off sides, kind of ended up shifting back and getting off a good punt for them, but a good stop for our guys to start the game to preserve the 6-0 lead. Here we are working our way out. We put in a couple of similar plays to what we had, but again, we blocked it a little bit different. There's Gavin making a good run. There's their transfer making a big tackle again. We ended up punting the ball, get hung in the wind, and they get the ball back about the 40, got a first down. There's the first play of the second down, of the second series of downs that they had, and our guys getting a stop. Here we had some young men fly the football. They ended up scoring and then scored quickly again on a jump ball to the transfer. Here you can see the transfer making another tackle, but a good ball from Owen to those guys. Here's Preston Neely getting some good yardage. And there's Callan, again, playing a physical defender. It's a little bit heavier than him. Again, did a tremendous job for us. There you can see Gavin Ellis running hard. A good job by our O-line. Jeb Brooker, Dayton Cowart, Harrison Kiker, Kason Kittle, and Reed Chadwick on the night. Here's a great catch. Great throw by Owen to Callan Neely, who catches it to pull us within 2. We go for 2 and just had the ball fall right out of our possession in the end zone. There we're defending. Good job by Jacob Sanders. They actually ended up throwing another jump ball there that they came up with to take the lead 21-12. Our guys showing some resiliency, not giving up. We ended up punting, getting it down low. Our guys there They ended up dropping that pass. We're starting to apply a little bit more pressure. They're throwing it up deep, but good coverage by Cooper Pardee, who's had an outstanding year for us. Here they are punting again. We're trying to apply a little bit of pressure to make them punt the ball bad, and we end up getting the ball on their side of the 50 at the 45-yard line. The wind blowing south was really difficult. There's Callan Neely with the catch, making a good reception on a good ball with their transfer, making the tackle again. Here is Gavin Ellis with an outside zone run, doing a good job of getting out there. Great job blocking by the right side, and including our wide receivers. Again, we're a little disappointed. Those guys were disappointed how they performed, but they came back with a good night, and our offensive line does an outstanding job, and Bryce Mantu scores a touchdown for us. Yahir Zapata kicks the extra point to bring us within 21-19. Here they have a throwback. We saw it coming on the very first one, but we still, despite us telling them that, we still get pinned. Here Kobe Ramsey comes down the field and does a great job of stripping the ball, and the Northwest Bruins come up with it. Unfortunately, we couldn't do a lot there. They end up throwing the ball. Good coverage by our secondary. I believe that was Keaton McQuaig and Hayden Pack and Jacob Sanders in on it. Here our guys are, we're showing it because our linemen are hustling downfield, continuing to play hard, even though the first half hadn't went quite the way we want. Good tackle by Keaton McQuaig. Good job being physical by Cooper, turning it back in. They're trying to throw the tunnel and go, the bubble and go, whatever you want to call it. Jacob Sanders and Matthew Redmond on the coverage. They're throwing another route, and Dakota Hickman does a good job of getting his hands up. They end up kicking a field goal here to make the score 24-19, and then they ended up with another chance to kick a field goal, but we partially blocked it, and we go in at halftime down 24-19.
My name is McQuaig. I'm number 34 and I play middle linebacker. Most of the time I listen to country music, a little bit of rap. I really just like to take a nap, just chill out, yeah. Probably when we beat Ridgeland. That's pretty big. Well, I got a bald spot in the back of my head right now, so they're telling me I'm going bald. Probably Africa. Probably when I was playing JV and Coach Robertson made me do burpees because I got a personal foul. Peed my pants till I was like 7. God first, and then my parents and my coaches. My name is McQuaig. I'm number 34 and I play middle linebacker.
Welcome back to the Northwest Bruin Football Show. I'm the head coach, Josh Robinson. On the night, our defense played the way we expected to in the second half. Unfortunately, we didn't play the way we needed to in the first half. Made too many mistakes. and really just played a kind of out-of-characteristic game. Same hand, overall, we faced a very talented offense that's put up a lot of points this year. We really didn't play bad. We just didn't play as effectively as we had been against equal opponents, and we didn't play as disciplined as what we need to. Our D-line still had a very productive night on the night. Zach Kozlow had 8 tackles, a tackle for a loss, and a quarterback pressure. Definitely one of the better linemen in the region, getting doubled and triple teamed by really, really big linemen for Heritage, and still came out with a very productive night. Dakota Hickman had 4 tackles, a fumble recovery, and a quarterback pressure. You know, Dakota's been a consistent force in us, and has been filling up the stat line really, really well, and we're very proud of the strides he made. Chase Humble continues to press through his injuries and everything that's happened to his body on the wear and tear of the season. Still comes out with a very productive 4 tackles for us. So we're thankful for his effort and his care for his teammates to come out there and do a really good job for us on Friday nights. Jeff Brooker, playing in his part-time role, his backup lineman role, ended up with 2 tackles and a quarterback pressure, which are really good considering he played about half the plays of the other linemen. He combined multiple positions to play those. Bailey McQuaig on the night had 9 tackles, 1 pressure, and a recovered fumble. You know, it was good to have Bailey back, but he sprained his AC, and we're definitely hoping to have him back for our playoff run. But it was really bad, and I'm really proud again of our kids for multiple fashions. And Bailey is the epitome of that. On Friday night, sprained his AC really bad. The trainer left it up to him if he wanted to play, and he chose to play. That's what kind of kid he is, and that's what kind of kid most of our players are that care so much about what we do. Logan Akins on the night had 3 tackles. Not a lot of opportunities. A lot of things kind of ran away from him. But still, overall, when you see opportunities versus tackles, still had a very productive night. Jordan McCamish had 12 tackles, a pressure, a pass breakup, and a forced fumble. You know, Jordan's just been Mr. Consistency. I believe he has 144 tackles on the year. He broke the school single-season tackle record in a game about the midway point. He's just done a really good job throughout about coming on and being around the football. He just finds a way to do that. Colby Ramsey had 7 tackles, a pass breakup, and a forced fumble, and the unfortunate part of that is he went out of the game. Bailey and him and he converged on a runner, and he took a really big hit from Bailey and gave him a concussion. We definitely hope to get him back, but I would say odds are slim this week. We hope that we are fortunate enough to win, and then we are fortunate enough to get him back. He's been an outstanding player for us this year. His backup came on and did a really good job, played with a high number of plays and production that came out of it, with a couple of tackles for a loss and tackles. You know, Damon Banta has done a good job for us being steady. He's played the O-line, he's played some D-line, he's played some linebacker, he plays special teams. He's really been a jack of all trades. It's going to be an even more important part as his career at Northwest travels on. Jake Fawcett came on and also had a tackle for the linebacker crew in a limited amount of plays since Bailey was back and healthy. In the secondary, Hayden Pack had 4 tackles, and Jacob Sanders had 5 tackles and a pass breakup. Those 2 guys, 2 seniors for us that played really well. Again, all of us, including me, could do things better, but those guys really played hard and really did what they could to try and help the Bruins win the game. Keith McQuaig, a sophomore for us, came on with 2 tackles on the night, has steadily increased, kind of hit a lull in the middle of the season. We sat down and had a talk about things that he could do better, really continued his ascension after that couple of games lull that he had. 2 other guys that did a tremendous job for us. Matthew Redmond, we've already mentioned him on offense, had 4 tackles and a pass breakup. Just, he punts, he holds, he does a little bit of everything. We're very fortunate to have Matthew on our team. Lastly and not least, that would be Cooper Pardee, who's came on as being a basketball player throughout his career and has really got some really good plays for us on both sides of the ball. He had 4 tackles on the night in a little more than a part-time role because he's also starting starting on offense. So overall, a solid night by our defense. Really good second half, really what we expected out of them. And we definitely will work to be better for 4 quarters this coming Friday. At this time, let's take a look at the second half highlights. Start the second half, we're misaligned here from what we want to and kind of give them the opportunity to throw the bubble, and they do, but our guys are playing on it, and then some late action there that doesn't get called on them, but we end up stopping them on 4th and short, making them punt, and we really got after our guys at halftime about being disciplined and doing the things that have made us successful on defense. We ended up only giving up 6 points in the second half to a good football team, so that's definitely something that's good to see the improvement there. Colby Ramsey makes an awesome play for us. Here you're going to see Colby get hurt. He gets upfield, causes the guy to cut in, and then Bailey McQuaig runs and unfortunately hits Colby right in the head, and he was pretty staggered. Great play by Jordan McCamish, who's kind of getting held and knocks the ball loose, and Dakota Hickman picks up the ball and is able to return it, and it's a great play, great momentum shift for us. Really needed to come out of this with some points, and we do. There's our guys up front doing a good job, but Gavin Ellis doing what he has all year, running really hard. And there's one of the reads we talked about. He hadn't been really consistent in bouncing to the open holes, but he does a great job there. There's Bryce Mantooth getting another great read. Getting down inside the 10-yard line. We had a chance on a screen to probably get inside the 3, and I definitely would have went for it, but as it was, we ended up being 4th and goal from a long distance. We kick a field goal to make it 24-22. They come back, they start running their quarterback, and we have some guys who lose their responsibility, and unfortunately they drive the ball down the field. Throwing it deep here, pretty good coverage by Hayden Pack. Good ball by the young man at the same time, but end up getting a stop. Here we end up getting a stop on the play, and unfortunately we hit somebody late, and it leads to them getting another first down and another opportunity. We give up a little bit of yards, but great effort by Jeb Brooker, and they end up going in to make it 30-22, which ultimately would end up the final score. There's a good cut by Gavin Ellis. We want him to make that cut on the run instead of stopping. At the same time, it's good vision by him. Here's Owen Brooker on the carry. Does a great job of picking up a first down for us, running through and finding an open spot. And as he gets older, he's going to be really effective at that. There's a great catch by Matthew Redmond, and we're driving. We end up having to punt. Could have went for it there, but I felt like our defense was playing well enough to give us another opportunity to get the ball back, and I was right in my assessment. We end up letting them get a first down. We come back. Their transfer here, catching a ball at the end of the game. Really good tackle by Jordan McCamish, trying to run the outside zone. Great job by Damon Banta fighting off 2 guys, and Matthew Redmond getting the tackle. They're trying to run the bubble here, and our guys end up making a great tackle over on the side, Cooper Pardee, and we end up making them punt towards the end of the game to give us an opportunity to definitely go and score and pull the game even. And we start out with Owen throwing a great ball to Preston Neely on a little hide play that we have route-wise. Should have been a late hit there as the play continued even after they're out of bounds. Good run by Gavin Ellis to get us down to the 20-yard line. Ultimately, we ended up punting. This was a big down for us. Damon Banta was able to get a tackle for a loss. Here they're running a screen. They do an outstanding job of running the screen, but our guys do an even better job of playing it. They get the punt off. Here's our last possession. They catch the ball. We're over the middle. We're trying to get there quick, and that's Matthew Redmond from Owen Brooker. And here you can really see the ability of Owen to make some plays. It's a tough situation for anybody to be in, especially a freshman. He runs us down the field, but ultimately we throw the ball in the end zone as time expires and come up short to the Heritage Generals 30-22. At this time, let's take a look at our corporate sponsors. Welcome back to the Northwest Bruin Football Show. I'm the head coach, Josh Robinson. So overall, this past Friday was certainly not the outcome that we wanted, but again, I've said it multiple times and I'll say it again. I'm very pleased with how our guys have went, but at the same time, we're not satisfied. Future groups are definitely going to want to win the region championship, and that should be our goal. But way prior to that, we have a game this Friday that's going to be a tough challenge that we definitely want to go out and perform. We want everyone to come out. We know it's a long trip, going to be more difficult. We play at Oconee County High School in Watkinsville, which is just south of Athens. Oconee County has some rich tradition. They won a state championship matter of fact, the year I graduated in 1999, they won the state championship. So they've experienced some success. They've been in AAA, 4A, 5A. They've been through it kind of all, and it depends on the growth in the area. But Coach Nolan and I have actually become really good friends. This is the team, some of you may remember, the team that we beat here for the only playoff victory at home in Northwest history. And it's definitely not going to be easy, but we undoubtedly want to try to work and continue to reach that same goal that we accomplished that night. Our guys have come out, and I anticipate the rest of the week of practice being really good. To this point, it has been very successful in preparation. And really, they probably showed even more resiliency than what maybe myself and some other coaches had. It was really good to get back on the field and practice. But we're going to have a challenge. Coach Nolan's kind of been around. He was in South Carolina. He's their head coach. He moved to Stevens County for several years, and then he went to Oconee. And he's been there for a while and created a really successful football program. Some of the people, they're kind of your classic high school football team with a few really outstanding players. They have a really good line of scrimmage on both sides. The front seven on defense is probably the strongest part. Some of you may remember Brad Johnson, who played for the Vikings, I believe, and the Redskins. His son is the quarterback. He's committed to LSU currently. He's a left-handed kid, unlike his father. So he definitely has some talent. They have another young man that kind of plays a little offense and defense, mostly defense, who is a junior receiving a lot of Division I looks and getting some offers. So overall, it's going to be a night where they're going to be really physical. And if we hope to have success, we're going to have to match their intensity and their level of physicality. But at the same time, we're going to have to be disciplined against the pass. It's going to be something that they're going to stay balanced. They run the ball more than they pass the ball, but when they pass, they have the opportunity to be really effective. We're going to have to stay disciplined and not try to play hero ball, but play football that fits in with our scheme and what we're doing. Some of the things we want to talk about is the fact that our JV season we just celebrated this week, that our JV went undefeated. They were 7-0 this year. Hasn't been done in, off the top of my head, I believe 12 years, if my memory serves me correct. So it's not a feat that goes on. We've talked about winning already and how difficult it is at all levels, freshman, JV, varsity, everything. And we've also talked to our guys, as awesome as that is and great, there has to be an even further commitment to the varsity level, because just because you're successful on the JV certainly does not mean you're going to be successful on varsity. Now, it's a good indicator that the talent is there, but there's so many more things that go on a Friday night that are not experienced on Mondays or Thursdays in sub-varsity level. So we definitely want to congratulate and acknowledge those guys. Our cheerleading team went to the region tournament this past week, had a good showing. We'll be going to the state tournament in the coming week. I believe they're actually going to miss the game because of the state tournament. Our band had some performances and did a really good job. So it's been a really good year at Northwest High School. But we certainly don't want the football aspect to end. We want everyone to come out, even though it's a long drive, and support these young men in Watkinsville against Oconee County High School and a very good football team. Until next time, this is Josh Robinson with Northwest Bruin Football.